Hey there, brilliant people. So today's question is, what is the difference between feelings and intuition? So here are 5 for you. So learning to tell the difference between feelings and intuition is important because a lot of the times people will say, well, I just had a feeling, and they may mean that they just had a feeling, but sometimes they may mean that they just had an intuition. And because there are quite a number of types of intuition that are very much connected with our feelings, sometimes it can be hard to tell one from the other. And yet it is very important to be able to tell one from the other, because our feelings are often not really a very good guide about the future. Our feelings are often more related to what we're used to. Think about how comfortable familiar things are. So the problem is that if we lean into our feelings, we will think that we're getting an intuition, but really it's just the sense of the familiar. And of course, if that's what we're listening to, then we'll think that our intuition doesn't work, but the problem was that it really wasn't our intuition in the first place. So learning to distinguish between our feelings and our intuition is pretty important. Right, so there are 5 things to bear in mind. So the first one is that like our imagination, our feelings are often related to what we want to be true. I don't know, we meet this hot new person and we want to think that this is the relationship that's going to be with us for a lifetime, or we are offered some investment opportunity and we want it to be the thing that's going to change our financial fortunes. And it's actually the wanting that is saying go for it. It's not actually our intuition. Our intuition is actually saying don't have anything to do with that, which is quite different. So when we have a want rather than an intuition, the wanting has a charge to it. It's this desire, like we're trying. So there's a sense of force to it, like we're trying to make it true. Whereas when it's our intuition, we just know it's true. It's in the same way as like somebody tells you 2 + 2, you just go, okay, that's 4. Like you don't have to try and make it be 4. You just know it's 4. Your intuition is like that. It's not something that you have to force it to be true. You just know it's true. So that's the first thing. So the second thing is, similar to that, as I said, our intuition just is. And because it just is, it doesn't have this charge around it. So when it's our feelings, there's often a sense of angst or charge around it, because our feelings are often related to our past and our sense or our belief or the fact that we're stuck in our past in a way. So we kind of expect the past to just keep playing out. And of course, the annoying thing is that if we listen to our feelings, then the past will keep playing out, whereas our intuition is more about the future and how to navigate, that unknown country of the future so that it does serve us. So around the intuition, there's just this calm sense. We may not even, from our feeling point of view, it may feel uncomfortable sometimes, because it may not actually be what we expect. But at the same time, we know that that's what it is. I mean, if you want 2 + 2 to be 5, you know that you're kidding yourself. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, intuition does at times require a little bit of personal honesty. All right, so number 3. So with those feelings, the feeling can often create chaos. There's almost this adrenaline feeling around it, or this perhaps a sense of urgency. Whereas with our intuition, because intuition is a result or reflects this alignment, it's we're aligned with who we really are, and that alignment has connected with something in the world that is going to support who we really are. So there's just this smooth sense of flow to it. For me, I often think of a river, because it's been a while, but yeah, whitewater rafting is fun, and that's fun. But even when you're whitewater rafting and you're getting past that rush of the white water, you're still looking for that smooth channel between all the rough waters. And in many ways, that's what intuition is doing. It's looking for that aligned path that'll just, I suppose people talk about going with the flow. And I suppose it's like that as long as you want to choose which flow you're going with, I suppose. Because in a river where there is white water, the white water is where the rocks are. So there can be a few different channels, but you need to have the channel that is going to take you all the way through to the end. So in that way, one of the differences between feelings and intuition is that with intuition, there is this sense of alignment. There is this sense of, this is going to connect me all the way through to where I want to go. Whereas with with your feelings, there's this sense that you're going to have to push it. So it's not your intuition. It's sometimes what can fool people is that it can seem on the surface that there's more energy where things are all chaotic, where things are all shaken up. And there may even be more energy in it. But it's not your intuition, and there's more energy in it because everything is going in all these different directions. So there may be more quantity of energy, but there is less quality of energy. And this is the thing with intuition. We're looking for that aligned quality to the energy. So we're not looking for how much energy there is. We're looking for how aligned the energy is. So that's the third difference. And the fourth difference is, as I said, that feelings are related to the familiar. So in other words, with feelings, it's generally connected to the stuff that we know, to what's familiar. It's from what is within our reality already. And the thing is often, this is why, with feelings, when we're, if we're in our feelings and our intuition is trying to talk to us, that unfortunately can sometimes tip us into fear, which can then distract us from our intuition. Because for a lot of us, it's a very human instinct that what is unknown will actually be scary. And because our intuition is so much about helping us navigate the unknown, so it's actually outside of our reality. It can be outside our comfort zone. So it's a strange paradox, because there is this sense of alignment and there is this sense of, well, that's me to be doing it. So there is a degree of security in that, but the security is in here. The security is in knowing who you are and feeling that this thing is going to support you to be who you really are. The security is not coming from the outside world. So sometimes I talk about, your shine and your shiny. Like, your intuition is always speaking to your shiny. Your feelings, particularly the feelings that are talking to your shite, the feelings that are talking to your fear, those feelings, they're trying to tell you to stay in what is familiar, because at least you know how to handle it. So yeah, so that's the fourth difference, is that your intuition will take you away from what is your current reality or your current comfort zone. It won't try to keep you in it. And so the fifth difference is that a lot of the time, it's related to that fact that your intuition takes you out of your comfort zone. It takes you out of your what is known or familiar. And a lot of people will, tell you that that's a really risky thing to do. But the interesting thing about life is that sometimes not changing is the biggest risk, because when times are changing, if we don't adapt, if we don't, whether that adapting is to a new part of our own life, to getting older, to, okay, now we're not single anymore, or the changing circumstances of life, or sometimes it's about changing circumstances of the world around us. If we don't adapt to that, that's actually riskier than adapting, but you need to adapt appropriately. So this is the thing, is like your intuition will always help you adapt effectively, because it will help you move into the unfamiliar, into the unknown, but in such a way that you're actually strengthening your connection to who you really are, not taking away from it. Whereas often, unfortunately, our feelings will often encourage us to, almost give up a little bit of who we really are in order to maintain the false security of the familiar. So yeah, that's the fifth difference. Our intuition will prioritize us being who we really are over maintaining the security of the familiar. Our feelings, unfortunately, will often prioritize the security of the familiar over us being who we really are. So there you are. There's 5 differences between your feelings and your intuition. So I hope that helps you make a clearer distinction. Obviously, if your intuition is one of those types of intuition that has got to do with feelings, you'll find that the quality of your feeling is what you'll need to actually get familiar with. Because again, even if your intuition is speaking to you from your feelings will have those qualities that I just talked about. So there you are. Listen to your intuition and remember that you're brilliant.